Today is Tuesday, April 18th, and we will be crossing out of Shenandoah today. We're really just getting started, only been hiking about 15 minutes, but we're gonna be going to Front Royal today, and we only have like 11.9 miles to make it there today, so compared to the number of miles we've been doing the last few days, it'll be a pretty easy hike. Going uphill right now, so you can see how rocky this is. You have to be careful that you don't twist an ankle or something. My foot is continuing to improve, so I'm tickled about that. It's still not just like completely healed, but I'm pretty sure it's on the mend, as long as I don't re-injure it or re-aggravate it. The sun's probably coming through pretty bright on the camera. Trying to keep it pointed at the trail. This is hard to walk on, especially when you're carrying a camera, but it's hard enough anyway. We stayed the last couple of nights at Open Arms Hostel in Luray, and the owner of the hostel's name is Allison, and she runs it by herself and doesn't have any help, and she's interacts with the hikers, and I just really liked her. She's very nice, and it's nice when the actual hostel owner is involved in it. When we were staying at a couple of other hostels, you could just tell it was employees that were dealing with the hikers and not the owners, and it's just a completely different feel. And yes, we are staying at hostels a lot, and yes, that's platinum blazing, but we have enjoyed it. And since it is, at least for me, a once in a lifetime experience, I'm not going to fret spending a little bit extra money, and I'll just work a little bit extra hard when I get home and save that money back up. Everything will be fine. But this is having a good time. The weather today, it's a little chilly this morning, mid-40s I think. Wind's blowing, so it probably feels like low 40s, but it's not bad, certainly not unbearable. It's supposed to get up into the mid-60s today, so that'll make for a nice day of hiking. We'll probably arrive at this next hostel Mountain Home Hostel in Front Royal around 1:30, and their hostel is supposed to be like 120 steps off of the Appalachian Trail, so we'll just be able to walk right straight to it. We're planning on taking a zero tomorrow, but we may, if we can work out for a shuttle, we may hike 8 miles tomorrow and then come back to Open Arms and let that be what's considered a near zero. But that extra 8 miles will help us out the next day, because the next place we're going to stay, a Trail Angel has offered the use of a room in her home, but it was 17 miles from the 8 mile point. But if we added 8 miles to the 17, that's a little bit more than we would want to try to do in a day. So we're hoping maybe we can get that 8 miles knocked out But all this will set us up to arrive in Harper's Ferry Saturday, which is the 22nd. And the advantage of arriving in Harper's Ferry on the 22nd is that's also the beginning of Appalachian Trail Flip Floppers festival that's going to be going on this weekend. And there will probably be vendors and things set up, and it might be an interesting experience, so we're hoping to be able to make it for that. Now, in case, I know a lot of people that are familiar with hiking and know what a flip-flopper is, but I'm not going to assume that everybody knows what a flip-flopper is, so I'll explain it. A flip-flopper is someone who doesn't hike the trail from one end to the other, the beginning to the end, or the end to the beginning, like from Georgia to Maine or Maine to Georgia. A flip-flopper is someone who picks a place in the middle and hikes part of the way one direction, and then when they get to the end, they turn around and hike the other direction. And I think this time of year, most flip-floppers that are starting right now, they start at Harper's Ferry and go north. And then when they finish, whenever that is, July or August, then they turn around and come back to Harper's Ferry and hike south. So that's sort of a partial definition of a flip-flopper, and there are lots of variations to flip-flopping. And already in this hike, I've met several flip-floppers that were heading south, and flip-floppers don't always start at Harper's Ferry. They start at other points. So I guess that's enough explanation for now. I wanted to make another comment about Shenandoah. This morning as we were driving back up to our set out point, I bet you we passed no less than a dozen deer alongside the road. I just don't ever recall seeing that many deer just so closely concentrated in a short distance. It's I guess well, I mean, obviously this is a national park, and so there's no hunting, and they're not really afraid of humans up here. And I've shown some pictures we've come across them just in our hikes, but along the roads, I mean, there are just lots of deer. So I just highly recommend, if you're a person who likes to get out in nature, this is an excellent place to come to and check things out. My two favorite places so far that I have visited, which I had visited them before, but Grayson Highlands State Park, when we came through that, of course I didn't get a lot of good pictures because the weather was bad, but Grayson Highlands is one of the most beautiful places. And then the Shenandoah National Park is another just amazingly beautiful place. That was Compton Gap just now, as you could tell by the sign. That was the Appalachian Trail's final crossing of Skyline Drive. We'll be crossing out of the park in less than 2 miles now. I wanted to video a little section of the trail through here. This is absolutely some of the nicest section of trail that we've walked on. Just nice and flat and smooth, and not a lot of rocks or roots to step over. You can just make really good time. This is a rarity on the Appalachian Trail, though, I can assure you. So when we got to Front Royal and the hostel we were going to stay at tonight, we just decided to put our stuff down. And well, Prepper is carried most of his stuff, but I'm slack packing, and we're slack packing an additional 8 miles. I hope this wind's not messing up the audio on this video. But anyway, we're slack packing an additional 8 miles this afternoon, which will make this right at a 20-mile day today. But we both feel pretty good, and it'll make our hike out of Harper's Ferry or Front Royal Thursday shorter to our destination on Thursday. And so we just decided we would do this. So our destination is where the trail crosses under Interstate 66. And so we're about a mile from there now. So I thought I'd go ahead and just sort of do an update now. And I don't know if I'll be doing much more video or talking the rest of the day, because there's not really a lot to see. I'm not sure what kind of lands we're walking across, but it's not like national park or anything like that. It's not particularly pretty. It's not ugly, but it's not what we've been seeing for the last 100 miles in Shenandoah, just put it that way. So I'm going to sign off now, and this will probably be all that I'll do today. I may take a picture or two once we get to Interstate 66, if there's anything worth taking a picture of.